and useful and willing vessels if we say, I forgive you without action and or example? How can we be forgivers if we no longer greet one another in love, but remain silent towards one another? When Jesus forgave me, he didn't distance himself from me.
That's right.
He didn't become mute towards me. He became closer to me in love. Jeremiah 31:3, the Lord hath appeared of old unto me, saying, Yea, I have loved thee with an everlasting love.
Yes.
Therefore, with loving kindness have I drawn thee. Yes. Forgiveness is not granted because a person deserves to be forgiven. Instead, it is an act of love, mercy, long-suffering, and grace, because love is in the book of John 3:16. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish but have everlasting life. Yes. The Bible gives us instructions which it comes to forgiveness. We forgive because we have been forgiven, Ephesians 4:32. And be ye kind one to another, tenderhearted, forgiving one another, even as God, for Christ's sake, hath forgiven you. We forgive in obedience to God. Romans 12:18. If it be possible, as much as lieth in you, live peaceably with all men.
Yes.
In Isaiah 43:25, it says, I, even I, am he that blotted out thy transgressions for my own sake, and will not remember thy sins. We, the body of Christ, must have this same mercy, this same grace, and most important, this same Christ-like characteristic. We too have the power to blot out what others has done to us, said about us, or wrongfully accused us.
My God.
We must remember what forgiveness involves. And you are not condoning the wrong as if it never happened. You are simply following the same steps as Jesus did on the cross, which is forgiving. We must recognize the benefits of forgiving, Matthew 5:9. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of God. We must be reasonable, Colossians 3:13. Forbearing one another and forgiving one another. If any man have a quarrel against any, even as Christ forgave you, so also do you. Saints of God, we must also, without hesitation, act quickly, because the longer we sit on what someone has done to us, the stronger the spirit of confusion gets.
Yeah.
Starving our enemy as one should be one of our convictions and our goal, meaning giving him no room to grow nor to continue to accuse. Instant forgiveness does exist as long as the love of God resides in our hearts. And as I come to a close, remember, holding on to offense and bitterness leads to revenge. But if we, the body of Christ, will humble ourselves and consider ourselves likewise, our forgiving won't be a struggle.
Amen.